I was trying to hurry up to get away from the guy. I thought I was going to get stabbed in the chest.
Now at noon, police arrest the suspect behind a mass stabbing at a men's shelter in Salem. We'll hear from a man who says he was right there as the attack was happening. Plus, Portland police recover thousands of dollars and make dozens of arrests as part of a retail crime mission. We're going to bring you all the details. And later, a dead whale, 53 feet long, washes up along the shore in the Oregon coast near Seaside. What investigators say led to the whale's death. KGW News at noon starts right now. And we start this afternoon with this new video that shows police arresting the suspect in a mass stabbing last night in Salem. We now know 12 people ended up in the hospital. Thanks for joining us here at noon. I'm Drew Carney. That attack happened just after 7 o'clock last night at the Union Gospel Mission Shelter for Men. KGW's Daisy Caballero joins us live now in Salem. Daisy, you've been out there all morning, and it sounds like you just found out the name of the suspect.
Yeah, we did, Drew. The suspect is 42-year-old Tony Williams of Bend, and police are also sharing that 5 of the 12 stabbing victims are still hospitalized with serious injuries.
Yeah! That's right! You're going in!
Complete chaos erupted inside of this Union Gospel Mission in Salem over the weekend after police say a man stabbed 12 people.
4 inside UGM, some victims outside as well. More medics, please.
The suspect is now in police custody.
The whole entrance of the UGM was just covered in blood.
Details are still limited, but police say 12 stabbing victims were taken to Salem Health with varying types of injuries, though their current conditions are unknown.
It's been a hard day.
Craig Smith is the executive director of the mission in Salem and says a fight broke out in the bag check-in area around 7:15 Sunday night. The suspect, not named by police, took out a knife and stabbed 2 staff members and then went on a rampage outside.
One of my guys is in the hospital in very critical condition, and we don't know what his status is.
I seen him stab 5 people, so yeah, it was like out of a horror film.
Tim Verkijk says he was in the middle of the whole thing and saw his friend get stabbed in front of his eyes.
Yeah, the guy that is my friend and sleeps right next to me, he got stabbed. He was, like I said, a foot away, and he got stabbed in the back. So, yeah, I thought I was next for sure.
Mission attendees say the suspect then ran outside and stabbed more people at random.
And as he was coming, he was stabbing people with a hunting knife, probably 6 to 8 inches long.
The motive for this mass stabbing is still unknown, but people say they're happy the suspect was arrested.
Hopefully in the future they could have security here and hopefully have a safer place.
I think mental health treatment should be hopefully more available to people like this.
Daisy, before we let you go this afternoon, we were wondering earlier if the man who was arrested, the suspect, was actually staying at that shelter. Do we know the answer to that yet?
Yeah, Drew, we do. So I was told by the executive director of the mission that yes, Williams had been staying at the mission for just a few days. But again, more details to come as well. Now we will have more updates. Devin Haskins will have a live coverage 4, 5, and 6. Williams will actually be in court today at 2:30. Back to you.
All right, Daisy Caballero live for us this afternoon in Salem. Meanwhile, police in Portland say they arrested 36 people and recovered more than $3,000 worth of stolen merchandise during a recent retail theft mission. So this took place last Friday in downtown Portland and also in the Mall 205 and Gateway areas. Police also recovered 2 guns and a stolen car. Investigators say the people arrested committed crimes beyond just retail theft, including illegal gun possession, drug possession, vehicle theft, and more. They also told us other retail crime missions are happening in other parts of the state right now, including Washington, Marion, and Lane counties. The Clackamas County Grand Jury indicted 42-year-old Zachary Kyle Morgan on child luring charges, and authorities are looking for more potential victims. Milwaukee police say Morgan's arrest comes after months of investigation where officers posed as a 14-year-old girl. After Morgan traveled to meet with what he thought was the 14-year-old, police took him into custody. In an update this afternoon, the Clackamas County Sheriff's Office says 17-year-old Charlotte Fosgate, who went missing from the Oak Grove area, was found dead a few weeks ago. Deputies in Multnomah County recovered her body from the Willamette River on May 10th. Hers was one of 10 bodies found in Portland waterways during the months of April and May. The Sheriff's Office reports no signs of foul play. The Clackamas County Sheriff's Office did say there were concerns for Charlotte's mental health when she went missing. So if you or someone you know is going through a mental health crisis, always know that there's help available 24/7 by calling or texting that number on your screen. It's 988. Again, the number to call or text is 988. On the Oregon coast, the Seaside Aquarium wrapped up its investigation into what killed an adult sperm whale that washed up on the shore last week. So this was found about 12 miles north of Seaside last Thursday, and it was determined that the whale was hit by a boat. The aquarium says it will keep the whale on the beach to naturally decompose. They also say people shouldn't touch it and don't let your pets get too close to it. Break from the headlines here to check in with Chris McGinnis, filling in for Rod today in the Weather Center. So, Chris, are you taking that peek behind you? What are you looking at this afternoon?
Well, I was going to finish with this graphic, but since I have it up at the start, let's just start with that. My headlines this week are Wednesday clouds and weekend heat, as in the gorgeous weather that we have out there right now will probably fade to give us some clouds and possibly a little drizzle on Wednesday. And then the other thing we're talking about is weekend heat. How hot? Could we hit 90? Could it be warmer than 90? More on that in a minute, but let's get you through the next 12 hours or so. It's a gorgeous day out there right now. Visible satellite imagery showing a little stubborn area of along the North Oregon coast in Clatsop County, stuck in a little bit of cloud cover. The rest of us enjoying lots of sun out there at this lunch hour. We'll take you to the coast right now. You can see a little haze there off in the distance from our Chinook Winds Casino Resort Cameron, Lincoln City. 57 there, on your way to highs in the 60s today. It's already 65 at the airport today. Freezing level already up to about 12,000 feet. Our high yesterday was 72. We're going to be a lot warmer than that this afternoon. It is 72 right now in the Dalles and elsewhere. 68 Hillsborough, King City checking it with 67. And after a start near 30 in Burns, you're already up to 64 degrees. All right, the plan for the rest of today, full sunshine, wall-to-wall sunshine, increasing breeze. We're starting to see the breeze pick up a little bit out there, and I've got us topping out at 78. All right, more on those Wednesday clouds and the weekend heat coming up in just a few minutes.
All right, thank you, Chris. Developing here at noon, police in Boulder, Colorado say 8 people were injured, 1 critically, during an attack at a peaceful march that aimed to bring attention to Israeli hostages still held in Gaza. The FBI is now investigating this attack as an act of terrorism. A suspect is in custody, accused of setting people on fire with a makeshift flamethrower. Here's NBC's Alice Barr with the latest.
A painful recovery for the victims and the entire community after investigators say a man used a makeshift flamethrower and shouted "Free Palestine" during an attack in Boulder, Colorado, on a march calling for the return of Israeli hostages still held in Gaza.
It is clear that this is a targeted act of violence, and the FBI is investigating this as an act of terrorism.
Videos from the scene show a man shouting and waving bottles filled with some kind of liquid. Authorities now identifying the suspect as 45-year-old Mohammed Sabri Solomon. 2 senior law enforcement officials say he's an Egyptian national and that while the investigation is in the early stages, he appears to have acted alone. Police arrested him at the scene.
And they immediately ran into a chaotic situation where a man was throwing Molotov cocktails and using other devices to hurt people.
Witnesses joined in, rushing to help the 8 victims between the ages of 52 to 88, some with very serious burns.
I was just like, how can I help? And they had like really bad burns all up on their legs. And then I went over to this other grass area that was like right by the front entrance. And there were some people, there was another lady on the ground with really bad burns on her legs, just like screaming.
The attack follows the deadly shooting less than 2 weeks ago of 2 Israeli embassy staff members in Washington, D.C., after which investigators say the suspect shouted that he did it for Gaza. And as the war there between Israel and Hamas drags on, both anti-Semitic and anti-Muslim hate crimes are on the rise. A spokesperson for the Department of Homeland Security said that the suspect in this case was in the country illegally, having overstayed his visa 2 years ago. Though she noted he had a pending asylum claim, meaning he had not yet exhausted all legal options to stay in the U.S. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
One more update to this story. Just over an hour from now at 1:30 our time, law enforcement in Colorado will hold a press conference where we expect to learn more about the suspect and the charges against them. We're going to stream that press conference for you live on our free streaming TV app, KGW+. Back here locally, a rehab facility for dogs is set to close this month unless the owners say they can find a new space that will accommodate their rather unique business. Co-owner Julie Thomas told us that despite running a successful operation, she's going to have to shut down Paws Aquatics, Water Sports and Rehab because their lease is about to expire. Their last day is set for June 14th, and they have to be out of that building by June 30th. She also says it's been really tricky for her to find a new home for her business.
Basically, we couldn't really find any place, so we're probably just going to have to go out of business.
Again, the space operates in Hillsboro. In addition to being a rehab facility for dogs, one of the pools is often used for dock diving. Paws Aquatics is apparently the only spot in the Pacific Northwest that has a year-round training site for the canine sport of dock diving.